5, 6, 7, 8.
I believe the children are the future.
Are you filming this? Because it's good. Except for the parts about my other person. Okay.
So anytime you're ready, check that door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I believe the children are the future. The featuring.
Jazz hands.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We need ear tape.
Oh, my God. Ear tape.
We need some
Sounds
ear
like a really
tape.
great like South by Southwest band, doesn't it?
Ear
Dude, Ear
tape.
Tape was killer this year.
Yeah.
It's the drummer from Radiohead and Willie Nelson.
Yeah. He grew up with the cushy life of being the son of a pastor. I'm sure doing whatever he wanted to do. He's a Grammy-nominated songwriter. He's released 9 albums, including 2 Christmas albums.
Yeah.
I submit you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone more talented or with a higher level of energy than Dave Barnes. Welcome to the Thacker Chronicles.
I concur with the second. I would push back a little on the first.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
You don't think you're talented?
Well, I think I'm talented. That's what's so great about Nashville. I mean, as we were talking about a second ago, you've been here so long. It's just such a talented city. It's great. I tell a lot of my friends, like when they think about moving here, I think either one of two things happened when you move to Nashville. You're either intimidated or inspired, and sometimes both. Which is the best.
Sure.
And it's just it's such a great city, but you're just reminded of your place in the world. You know, when you go to Stuckey's, as we were talking about, and some guy's singing, and you're like, he definitely has a better voice than I do.
Yeah.
Definitely has a better voice.
Absolutely.
You know.
And it's like, what am I doing here?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you fight through that, and what you find out about Nashville, which you can speak on, is that everybody here wants to give you a hand and help you out. There's no competition.
Yeah.
Nobody's...
Well, you know, the thing that's fascinating to me about living here, and you know this from being here as long as you have, there's a real communal sense that's built, that's interwoven into Nashville, because here, I think the co-writing industry makes people root for each other. And so there's a default communal aspect to Nashville that's pretty helpful, because you don't feel like you're against anybody, because more than likely he's either going to play on, she's going to write with you, sing on, open for you, you're going to open for at some point, so you can't really root against anybody, and so you have to root for them because they're a part of what you do. They've contributed in some way to your art, probably in some way, or inspired you in some way. So I think that's something I've always loved about Nashville, is it's just so communal. Everybody really does root for each other, and I think too, because we're the underdog of New York and LA, we really like to be together. We like to sort of feel like, you know, we're trying to prove that Nashville's a relevant, cool place.
And that really hasn't changed with the growth of Nashville. And then the growth of Nashville is through the sky.
Yeah.
But when you have a song that you've recorded and it's done really well, and then a gigantor literally and figuratively, country artist like Blake Shelton cuts your song and it goes to number 1, which happened in 2011. God Gave Me You.
Yeah.
And you recorded that first, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that path a little bit.
Well, you know, that story is I love telling that story because it is the most random. You couldn't put that story together if you had like the best writers in Hollywood, because they'd be like, no, this is too far-fetched. We will have lost the audience at this point in all believability.
All right.
People would leave the theaters. But you know, that was an interesting season of my career. I'd been playing for about a decade and touring about a decade, and I was just really spent. And so I was kind of at this place in my writing and records where I was kind of like, I was just really tired and I was worn out and I was getting a little bit disillusioned, and imagine that. And so honestly, it really started with just this prayer. I was like, you know, I just felt like I just need some encouragement. It was really that simple. I was like, I wasn't like, you know, doing like the sinner's prayer or even the Lord's Prayer. It was genuinely just like, you know, God, I would like some encouragement. That's it.
Yeah.
Just something to feel like I'm doing this. I'm
said
not
that
wasting
prayer.
my time. Yeah, we all have. Let's do it now. But yeah, thank you. but that was really it. And so what was so funny about that is my version, it was the classic case of what I wrote it after we had done the album, and I called my producer. He heard it. He was like, "We got to put that on the album." And then sort of rushed it on. People heard it. My manager called me and said, "Hey, I know we've never really done the Christian music thing, but I have a ton of friends in that world, and I knew a lot of people in that world." And he said, "What if we just kind of tried to see if this thing would work, Christian radio?" To which I was really reluctant because I just hadn't done it before in my career.
Yeah.
I'd always had a foot in that world and played events and a lot of friends and written for friends and had some, music singles do well in Christian music, but I'd just never done it. I was a little.
It was an unknown.
Yeah, it was an unknown. That's really well said. And so, all that to say, I said, you know what? I really felt strongly. I felt like the Lord was kind of telling me, like, hey, you can't pray a prayer and then shut the door. It's like, that's not how this works. Like, I'm bringing you in, that's it. That's not the kind I wanted, but thank you,
Right.
So I just was like, let's do it. And so it did really well, and it was such an encouraging season because I had so much fun. I did a bunch of radio stuff that year with Christian music, and I had so much fun and met so many great people who are still good friends of mine, and just was really encouraged. I just felt like that was great. I remember that year thinking like, God,
let's move on.
Let's move on. And then a friend of mine that works with Blake called me and said, "Man, I got this random story for you. Blake Shelton has heard the song and he wants to maybe use it in his wedding." And that was kind of where it began. It was like, oh, and I was like, "What, do they want me to come play?" She's like, "I don't think so. We're trying to suss that out." Well, then it went from that to she was like, "Hey, I think he's going to record it." And then I was like, "Oh, that's great." And then she sent a video of him singing in the studio, which is really cool. And this is really before I knew about the industry still. I had friends in it, and I knew about it, and I'd had some stuff get cut in the country world, but I wasn't really privy to, like, what a big deal that was and how many people are fighting to get those spots.
Right.
So for me, I was very, like, all good, we'll see if it happens. So then she told us it was going to be the single, which was great, and it was just... it was chaos, It was just kind of like, I really think it couldn't have happened at a better time in his career because he was really, that was when the rocket was really taking off.
Right.
And so, it was one of those songs I think that's really been such a big song for him. Like, I just found out he's still closing with it, which is crazy,
So what's next for you? What's happening right now?
Well, right now, I just had my third kid, which is craziness. We got a little 5-year-old boy, or a little 5-week-old boy. That is not letting me sleep much. So if you see tears just happening, that's natural. It's okay, just let it happen. Or just whimpers every now and then. Or if I fall asleep during the... But so I'm home a lot these days. I'm doing a lot of writing with and for other country artists here in town, which has been fun because I've had so many friends in that forever that I feel like I kind of came up with in different genres, but really good friends, and so it's fun to start kind of writing with them and a lot more on Music Row, and still doing my records. I mean, that's always kind of priority for me is my own stuff and touring, and that looks a lot different these days just with the family, but it's still so fun. I feel like the thing that's so fun about where I am now is having done it for a while. I really feel like I've never been better at it. You know what I mean? Because you've done the 10,000 hours thing, and you're kind of like, I feel like I kind of know a little bit more how to do it.
You got a little bit of a cushion where you can be
right.
home and write songs and that be where you are right now.
And I feel, I just feel really blessed. I mean, I think it's, to be able to still be doing music full time after all these years, it just feels like I keep waiting for, like, I laugh, I tell the story at these shows, but I think counting the EPs now with the 9 full lengths, there's like 14 records or something I made. And I just keep waiting for, like, a letter from Obama that's like, "We've appreciated your contribution to the musical catalog of the United States, but that's plenty enough, please." Like.
Okay, well, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So this will probably air after the election.
Oh, boy.
So replace Obama with...
who knows?
We could do both of them.
Man.
Just to play it safe, and then we'll edit it in.
Yeah, that's right.
Spread thing. So were you lucky enough to get DaveBarnes.com?
I was, but we had to fight. The funniest thing is on Twitter, because we got on pretty quickly afterward because the manager's like, "Hey, this is something we need to be a part of."
1976.
There's a guy, 71 for the early adopters. But there's a guy that has Dave Barnes, and he is, I mean, he is not very nice to people.
Wow.
Like blocks everybody, and he has like 12 followers, and he's some guy in the Midwest that's just mad at everybody. But so I feel bad for people because like, loved your show. He's like, get your details right, block, you know. And like, he's gotten where he's cursing now, which I'm like, man.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good times. Yeah.
But they can find you out there. DaveBarnes.com.
Yeah.
Find you on the Twitters and the
Yeah.
Facebooks and
It's all
that.
out there.
It's a real honor
Oh,
that you're
thank
here today.
you.
Dave
Thank
Barnes
you,
on the
thank you,
Thacker
thank you.
Chronicles.
Yes, thanks for having me. Dave, if you would face this way. That's a great question.
Actually, if you would turn your back.
Yeah.
I thought he was better looking.
Oh my God.